What's going on again, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pardon Our Politics. I'm Anthony.
I'm Brianna.
And today we are going over foreign policy issues. Right?
Yes.
Sweet.
That's all we're doing today.
That's all we're doing.
That's it.
All right, let's dig into this.
All right, let's go. Not without a proper vetting system. And the way our vetting system currently works is we rely on the host country to vet them. And if your host country is in the middle of a war or has no government, then you can't be properly vetted. So we need to figure out a way to vet these people before we let them in.
Yeah, I didn't know that about the vetting process, so I just learned something new today. But, should we, I believe we should have a way to vet them, an extensive way to, you're bringing them into our lives and our soil and around American families. And if they're not vetted properly and they can do damage like they've had in, Germany and all those refugee states.
Germany, Sweden,
yeah,
England,
I think Germany's that one with the gun. Yeah, it's just... that's exactly what happens.
They have Sharia gangs now.
Yeah, and I don't know what their vetting process is, but obviously if it's the same as ours or worse.
Angela Merkel went, "We'll take them all." That's what that was.
So
that was Germany.
So I don't know if that's worse than ours, but should we accept them? Not without a vetting process. I feel so bad for these. I can't imagine what they go through, but you still got to
listen to the propaganda. Most of these people coming are not women, children, and elderly. They're war-aged men. They're 18 to 35.
Yeah,
is the majority.
Yeah, if that's propaganda, that's true. But I just can't imagine. I don't know whether it's the refugees or just the people that are there. I can't imagine going through that. So
it's god awful.
But yeah, definitely we need a way better vetting system. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't want some, like you said, a Syrian gang or something coming in. Sharia enforcement gangs. Yeah, that stuff. I do not want that. We already have enough gang problems and all that, so we definitely don't need to add to it. Hell no. Hell no, dude. Why? If people are actually thinking about giving terrorists that actually in their thought wanted to kill people or you, why would you give them constitutional rights?
It's because they're minorities.
Whatever. Fuck those guys, dude.
You're racist.
I don't care. Fuck terrorists. What do you think?
Oh, I'm in complete agreement. No, they're not U.S. citizens. The Constitution only applies to United States citizens. Mm-hmm. Domestic terrorism is a little bit of a different story, I guess.
Fuck those guys, too.
Well, yeah. They're assholes, too.
Yeah. Dickheads. What say you?
Neither. Can we just keep it going at its same pace? It seems to be doing all right. I don't know. I'm not a huge military person. I guess I could ask my brother-in-law.
Yeah, whether or not, those grunts or whatever know, compared to, the generals and all that. Everybody knows what Trump's, with this past, everybody knows that most of the money of the budget's going to military. And with all our deal being in other people's business, other countries' business, that's a whole nother story. But, they're definitely putting money because of that reason. For me, on this question, I think we should be right, just like you said, right in the middle, keep it afloat. We don't need to be, there's definitely stuff we need to cut back, which is getting in other countries' business and all that, putting taxpayers' money to help other people, when you could be going towards other, deals like we talked about with domestic issues in our past domestic issue episodes. So I think we just need to keep it afloat, cut down, just keep it basic, just do what we got to do to keep it. A best defense is or a good offense is the best defense, however that, I'll probably fuck that up, but yeah, keep it, right. I'm right in the middle on it. So should we increase it, should we decrease it? I think it depends per issue. I totally respect anybody that chooses to go in the military. I remember at one point in high school, I was thinking about doing it, and my grandpa told me that I had a better chance of going on the career path and all that. And I know there's countries out there where they make, their kids coming out of high school or whatever certain age to serve at least, a certain term of military. Should we be required as American citizens? I don't believe so. But if there is ever a call to arms, I'm definitely ready to go. So, what do you say?
You see it implemented in places like South Korea, and I think it's 2 years for South Korea, and it works pretty good for them, I guess. But I don't know if I'd want to see it implemented here. I do want the draft to be implemented for everyone, not just men, though, because that's for men. That's why y'all get to vote, is because you sign up for the draft. And
okay, did not know that.
Yeah. When you register to vote, you're signed up for the draft.
Awesome. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. Bring it.
But women, not so much. For all this push of women's rights and equality, no one ever bitches about that. I think if we want to be equal, I think we should be completely equal.
Totally agree on that.
No, the United Nations is useless and causes more trouble than it's ever helped anyone. I mean, they have Saudi Arabia on the Women's Rights Council, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, United Nations, I think, is a huge joke. I mean, I think it's just, to me, I think of it like a frat fraternity or a fraternity. All these countries, they come here, they have their taxpayers' money, and they just talk about ideals and what can help. It's just a lot of talking game and all that. And I think it's a total waste of time. And should we be in it? No.
Nope.
Keyword terrorist. I think if they're part of all these groups, all these crazy Islamic groups or whatever it is, if it's a terrorist group, I think we need to do whatever we can to get the information to protect American people. So even as severe as waterboarding or all those crazy techniques you see in the movies, you got
electric nipple clamps.
Yeah, nipple clamps. Bamboo. I mean, the one that kills me is the bamboo shoots under
Yeah.
I mean, I'd talk after that, but I think we got to do what we got to do to get the information.
I would like to see the statistics on how effective these techniques are and the information that is gained, how reliable it is. I mean, if you're being tortured, essentially, don't you think you'd say whatever they wanted you to say to talk? Or just
like I said,
let them go?
Yeah.
So
especially with bamboo shoving up my fingernails. Yeah, definitely.
So if you don't truly know anything, you can't tell how well the intel is. So I'd like to see statistics on that before I agreed to it or not.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I think the big thing on this is that whole moral or religion aspect on it, and treating your brother or whatever the deal is. At least what I hear on it is a bigger deal. But yeah, definitely you gotta have statistics. Are they gonna talk crap? But I think as long as you get that information and then you can verify it, whether it's through task forces or whatever they got to do to confirm that information. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
From what I know about the Israeli-Palestinian dispute, which admittedly is not much, I think we should, because Israel has at least talked about coming to a peaceful agreement, and I haven't seen anything from the Palestinian government regarding peace. So, like I said, I don't know much about that whole issue. I think it's more of a religious warfare at this point.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, I see this all the time, and it seems to come up with every change in office. Should we back Israel? And I have no idea what's going on. Is it a religious thing? Is it a government move thing with us being in the Middle East? I don't know, but I definitely like to talk about it in a future episode so we can dig and learn about this and get a little bit more. Maybe we can both get some more information on it.
We'll go on an adventure.
Yeah, we'll take a trip to Israel and all that to get the full experience on it. But I really don't have an answer for this because I have no knowledge on it. I definitely want to learn about it and see what the issue is with or without Israel supporting it.
Well, if you support Israel, you hate Muslims, and if you support Palestine, you're anti-Semitic. So
it's kind of sounds like a religious thing.
Oh, it's definitely a religious thing.
Why is the government in it? I don't know. I definitely want to find out.
Because those are both theocracies, essentially.
Okay. North Korea has been a big topic this past year, and between Trump and the Rocket Man dude, and why we haven't done anything about it. I'm sure there's a lot of foreign affairs deals with that, especially with Russia and China. But all I know is that dude's starting to piss off a lot of people, and if he is stupid enough to hit whether it's an American ally or even crazy enough to hit like Guam or something, which would be, everyone says might be the closest thing to hit. I mean, you're just asking for it. Yeah, I mean, but. So I don't know if we should or not. I'm sure there's some sort of. I mean, I think we would have already done it already. So there's got to be something to that. But I'm not sure what that is. What do you think?
Well, the reason why we've been at a stalemate with North Korea for the past 50 years is China. China deals with North Korea, and we deal with China, and China has basically come out and said, hey, whoever shoots first, we'll go after. So if we had the blessing of China and Russia, then absolutely blow the motherfucker out of the water. But, I think it's landlocked, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we got him big enough to pop that sucker, make South Korea an island, so I'm pretty sure.
United States of Korea, man.
Yeah.
And I don't see, unless, what is Kim Jong-un?
I have no idea. I like Rocket Man better. Thank you, Trump. That's just way easier to say and remember as Rocket Man.
I think Kim Jong-un is smart enough not to actually really do anything. I think he's full of hot air.
Yeah.
But there are some major human rights violations happening in North Korea that need to be addressed.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing too, is the human rights thing, and for how long it's been going on. I think this would be a cool video to talk about just for that reason, because these people were pretty much raised to worship this dude. And they become, whether they're raised as, what people say, raised as prisoners and all that stuff. So I think that would be a definite video in the future to talk about is the human rights problem over there and whatnot. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't quite sure what NATO was, or I just knew, being a gun guy, it was a bullet, and they used it in NATO. But doing some research on it and talking to other people, should we be in it? Just based on what they did and the research I did, I don't think so. I don't think it's it's kind of like that thing on paper. It sounds great, us backing each other and all that, but from what's happening and going on, it's just not working, and I don't think we should be in NATO.
I really don't know much about NATO. I know there's rules of engagement that in our current fight with the Middle East, we're stuck into these rules that we're forced to follow because of NATO and the opposition, the terrorists. They don't have to. So I think that definitely needs to be fixed. Whether or not we need to outright leave NATO, I don't know if that is a good move politically. I don't know. So
yeah, that is true, because you're with a lot of allies and they might take offense to it. But whether or not, like you said, there's rules of engagement, all that stuff, there's a lot of limiting factors that make it a bad idea, especially to those people that are on the front lines, doing the dirty work, as you would say, not the guys in the back office calling the shots in the White Houses or whatever, or in their at the safety. So I think you're right. They're definitely, it's either, we got to whether or not we get out of it or just totally overhaul it, you know, just like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Whether or not we should fly drones, you know, Obama had no problem doing it. You know, from what I saw on the news, like what was it, 7 countries?
7 countries. He bombed the fuck out of.
The Middle East, definitely. Iraq.
Not even just Middle East and Africa too.
Yeah, yeah, all that stuff. Whether or not we should, for foreign countries, I think that's a big deal. I mean, I think as long as you have the intelligence on the suspected terrorist, and you have, I guess, the blessing of the country to take care of it, and I'm sure there's going to be some civilian casualties, especially in a populated city, if it's a big city.
That's a casualty of war.
Casualty of war, unfortunately, and these terrorists started. So as long as all those meet crisis, I think, or all those meet criteria, meet the requirements, I think I can see it being all right.
Yeah, if we have the permission of the government in whatever country we're bombing terrorists in. As far as the gaining intelligence part, I don't think we should be using drones to spy on our allies. But I guess if it's like a hostile nation, that's something different. We can't exactly put bodies into a hot zone. I'd rather see a drone get destroyed versus someone lose their life.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like you said, if it's war, it is what it is. But if it's like us flying into Russia or something, I think that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
But, you know, if it's just like we're in the, like what we've been going through in the Middle East and Iraq and all that, you know, drones flying everywhere. I think with it being a war situation, yeah, you can. But as far as allied countries, you know, us flying drones over, you know, Europe, all those European countries, or even maybe not the best allies like China and all that. I think you're just pushing the wrong buttons on that one there and trying to start shit.
Right. I think we just need to get off the world stage for a while, personally.
Yeah, no kidding. We got enough stuff to do back home. You know.
Shit. Decrease. We need to start fix shit at home first. I think it's like 14 million people are starving in America. In a first world country, that shouldn't happen. And until we can fix our own shit and everyone's happy, healthy, and living the American dream, we need to prioritize Americans first.
Yeah, I looked this up a little bit. I think, you know, we're not spending too crazy as far as on all the other budget scales, but it's still in the billions of dollars. Like you said, we definitely got stuff we can use that money to at home. I know that the foreign aid, you know, helps out with, like you said, the hunger crises and all that stuff. And there's problems with that too, with people stealing it or taking advantage of it. I think there's more important take care of domestic. We have programs right now like NATO and all that helps with these foreign issues that we can rely back on, and we still have good faith with those people. But I think we definitely decrease it and put that money towards something else, healthcare, the infrastructure, economy, all that stuff.
Like, I think a good portion of foreign aid gets just taken by, you know, gangs and warlords, depending on what country it's in.
Yeah. How is, I mean, like I said, is the government spending money, and whether or not they spend it right or how they spend it, we don't know.
The supplies doesn't always make it to the destination. So.
Yeah, or I think I read something like black market, all that stuff. Yeah, so it's a big issue, and a lot of money, our money. A lot of our money is getting wasted on that, as well as other stuff. So yeah, definitely a decrease across the board. Ooh, we're getting in the dirty gossip stuff right here, man. Obviously, I'm pretty sure we're not stopping right now. They might be even listening to this conversation right now.
Oh, they're probably listening. It's going in a databank somewhere.
Yeah, some way. This YouTube video is probably on there. Should we do it on our allies? I don't know, man. That's pretty fishy.
It's skeezy. It's real skeezy. I don't think we should be wiretapping our allies. Personally, I would rather see the NSA be abolished as a whole. I think it's just a skeezy organization, and they have too much power.
Yeah, I mean, everything the NSA does is take information, whether it's domestic right now or allies. So I think you're right. I think the NSA should go too, or the policy's got to change on that for some reason. But to answer the question, definitely, I don't think we should. You're just asking, like you said, it's skeezy, and it's
skeezy.
And if you get caught, man, that's pretty embarrassing, or you're gonna cause some shit.
Yeah.
I have no idea how to answer this question. Like, I'm not this big on it, so I'm gonna have to pass on this one. What about you?
Does it really matter? I mean, if the Israeli government says it's the capital, then it's the capital. I mean, it's pretty presumptuous of other countries to for one country to tell another country what its capital is. Could you imagine, like, England coming over to the United States and be like, no, Washington D.C. is not your capital.
Boston is, or San Francisco is
Salt
your capital.
Lake City.
Yeah, Salt Lake City,
Yes,
Utah.
no,
Boise, Idaho is your capital. Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, so I don't think it's...
I guess I don't know what the deal is on this. I'm not too familiar with it, but I mean, like you
it
said,
has to do with the whole Palestinian-Israeli
that's what I figured.
conflict,
Maybe religious kind of deal, that conflict, all that stuff. But not my issue.
Well, Trump's already recognized it, so we'll see where this goes.
Well, yeah, we'll see. until the next argument on it.
If we do, we should only support them with as much, manpower and military funding as they're putting forth. I don't think other countries should be able to supplement their lack of military force with America. I'm looking at you, Canada. I'm looking at you.
Get your shit together, man.
Yeah. You think y'all are all high and mighty and the brutes of America. Fuck you, Canada. We're your military.
There goes all the Canadian subscribers.
Hey, my best friend's Canadian. I can do this.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they have their view on it, too.
I'm sure they have their view on it.
So, fuck Canada. That's your answer.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we had a NATO question earlier, and whether we should be in it. And I think this is one of those problems that a lot of people, and it's, you put the money game on it, or who's got the bigger set of military, who's got the bigger guns, who's got the bigger tanks, who's got the bigger bombs, and you get all that logistics in it, and you're like, well, you're only putting this much forward, and so America should put this much forward. We shouldn't, take the whole military or a good chunk of it and send it to that country, or whatever that deal is. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with it, but I know this is a big issue, and it's definitely got to be changed. Whether or not we should, send the full force or just send the amount, I'm not sure on that one. But I know it sounds great. I mean, because, if we're in trouble, those guys are only going to send that little, and that might not be enough. And, people get that vice versa, he said, she said kind of stuff. So, and that's a big issue on it. So, like you said, I think maybe whether or not NATO needs to go away, or maybe this needs to step up, this stuff doesn't care, but it's a big issue on it, and it causes a lot of conflict, especially now.
Yeah.
All right, guys, so that's it for that episode on foreign policy. Brianna, you got any closing remarks on this episode?
I don't hate Canada.
I mean, fuck is a varied word.
Yeah. It wasn't a mean fuck. Well, it was kind of mean. Get your shit together, and then we'll talk.
Yeah.
That sound better?
Yeah, that sounds a lot better. So, closing remark, we don't hate Canada that much.
Yeah, we don't hate
Canada.
Come on, man.
Come on. Foreign policy, whether or not we should be as big into it, or as we are, being the big brother status, I think it's a big problem.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing it, especially when people here, like you said, starving children, people living on the streets, all that stuff. We need the help here too.
Yeah.
which I think we're getting the majority of it, but whether or not we should be in that big of a role foreign-wise.
I think we need to definitely step off the world stage for a bit. Let someone else be the police officer for once.
Yeah. Come on, Canada, step up.
Yeah, Canada.
Alright, anyways, if you like this video, guys, give us a thumbs up. If you liked all the other videos and keep up with future videos, go ahead and subscribe so you stay on top of that. Follow us on all the big socials, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We will see you there. We try to post daily on that as well so we can continue that conversation. If you had your own opinions, or if you have your own opinions... Oh, we'll just keep going. You have your own opinions and all that. Be sure to comment down below. Let's keep this conversation going. And once again, thanks again, guys. Until the next video, we are out. Peace.
Bye.
Let's do it. Do it. Count it in, Casey. 1.
Oh God.
2. 3.
This is what I have to work with.
Okay,
all
that was
right.
beautiful.
Oh
You composed? All right.
Shut up.
I could really use a joint right now.
Stop it.
All right, come on. Let's get
All
this
right,
over.
all
Let's
right, all
focus, dude. Jesus Christ. Oh my Lord. Don't do that. I have very bad hair right now.
You've got like a reverse pompadour
I
thing
do.
going on.
It's whatever the beanie does. Should the U.S. accept refugees from Syria and other war-torn countries?
War-torn.
Other war-torn countries.
There's the end of this episode.
I know, right? Jesus. That porn war? Jesus.
All right, Ted Cruz.
All right. Oh. I will not tell a lie.